Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Vita Luca, and today we're going to be discussing some things that I have found in the Czech Republic that make living abroad easier for me as a Canadian. So I absolutely love living in the Czech Republic. I don't want you to think that I don't, but these things do make that transition from one type of life that you're so used to because it's your country that you live in, moving into a foreign land that now you have new things that you need to take into. I found some things that, make my life a bit easier. And so with this, recently I met a girl from Slovakia who was telling me about the village that she was from there. She wasn't from like Bratislava or anything. So she was mentioning how she had hard water, and having black tile in your bathroom is just like the dumbest thing that you can do when you have hard water. And I was like, wait a minute. I have black tile in my bathroom. Why? Why is it so bad or dumb? She made it seem like it was a very dumb idea. And, well, that's because you'll end up with this problem where the hard water will actually stain the black tile white. And now that I know that's what's causing this in my own bathroom, because in Canada, this would have been a really easy fix. Now that I know it's hard water, it would just be vinegar. If I put on some white vinegar, spray that onto the tile, it would come off right away because vinegar is like a natural decalker, de-limescaler type ingredient and tool. And it's something that Canadians use all the time. Like you can easily go into a Walmart, into a superstore, buy white vinegar. It's like $2. You get a jug. You get about like 2 liters or so of it, a liter, something like that for $2, which lasts you a long way because you dilute it with water. And you just spray that on your bathroom tile and you're good to go. But like finding vinegar in the Czech Republic for Canadians, like there's some of us who are like, yes, we know where to go. And then there were ones like me where I'm like, I have no idea where to find this. So I was asking Czechs. I was like, what do you use for pickling? Because we use white vinegar to pickle. Like you can totally consume white vinegar, the same white vinegar that we would use for cleaning. And so I've asked them and they're like, well, there's like table vinegar, but then it's like this brown color and, it is really meant to eat, like it's meant for consumption. Whereas in Canada, ours comes in like this weird jug that, yes, you could use it or you can pour it into something else. Like it's designed better. And I can put in a picture of what I mean. But I decided to shop at DM one day. I've looked at DM before, but I thought it was more of a drugstore. I don't know, I just thought it was more for like makeup and skincare, that kind of stuff. Not necessarily also for cleaning. So, I went in one day because my husband was like, well, maybe we should go look at DM. Maybe you should try a new store. So we go to DM and I find this. Raspberry vinegar. I don't know if the words will be switched for you when you watch this, but it's by Fresh. It's raspberry vinegar. It literally says anti-calc, natural, like powerful lime remover, cleaning with the power of nature. That's what it says on the bottle. And guys, Canadians, if you are watching this will make your house smell so much better than white vinegar does anyways. Because white vinegar, it smells. Like it has a powerful smell, and the smell is not necessarily like it's not a floral smell. Like it doesn't smell that great. This will make your house smell like raspberry. So I use this, and yes, as you can see, I've used a lot of it. It used to be like up to here or something. But I used that on my bathroom. It took me about 3 days to get my bathroom looking like this. Absolutely worked. And like there's nothing wrong with having hard water in your home, and you are not dumb for having black tiles in your bathroom. But now you know of a way to clean it. And so DM has the raspberry version, and I saw the white version at Tesco, still from Fresh. So they are slowly moving into the Czech Republic, but if you're a Canadian living in Germany, like here's options for you to clean your bathroom, because I would love, if I ever go back home, I will definitely make a video about like Canadian remedies, and it would be remedies from like what to do when you're sick to like how you should clean your home. And like, yeah, I would show you white vinegar then and how we use it and why we use it, that kind of stuff there. But we love vinegar. Natural cleaner. We use it to anti-calc, anti-limescale, just to sanitize surfaces. Like, we love vinegar. Now, because I also know of hard water, and I was always wondering why were my machines breaking down, because my dishwasher is broken, my toilet has broken, and, the shower wall, and then also my washing machine started to smell like moldy soap. And I'm like, why? And so, meeting this girl, I was like, oh, I need to be taking better care of my machines. piece. And so, because I used to run like, a monthly cycle with one of those anti-calc cubes, and I thought that that would be enough because I didn't think like I always had hard water running through the system. I thought it was just like normal water all the time. Now that I know it's not, you need to be using something more regularly. And so I also picked this up at DM. You can buy versions of these at any store, but DM was definitely the best price that I've seen so far. This was 69 crowns for this huge package. We bought 20 cycles at Beulah for like 200 to 400 crowns, like totally not worth it. This was like 70 crowns. And I don't know how many washes it does, but essentially you take a scoop and you put it in with every single load that you do, and then your clothes don't smell awful. They smell actually like your laundry detergent, because I was having just the toughest time where I'm like, my clothes used to smell really nice and they came out, and now it just smells horrible. And I had no idea why. The machine. It was the machine. Got the hard water in, it calked up, lime scaled up, and it made everything just smell awful because it smelled awful. And so yeah, now my machine doesn't smell awful. I have a brand new machine now, but it does not smell awful, doesn't make my clothes smell awful. And now I also have a dryer, because I'm not someone who likes to hang my clothes outside for everyone else to see while it dries. And also I don't have an enclosed balcony, and so if it rains, it soaks the entire balcony. I don't like have any of like those windows that you can put across or anything. I'd have to fully take like a dryer, the hang dryers. I don't know the word for that. And this is my language. I have no idea what they're actually called. Your dryer rack, I guess. Your drying, like you'd have to take your drying rack outside, set it all up, put all your clothes out, and then hope that they don't blow away. So you'd have to like clothespin all of them down. I don't know. It always was too much of an effort for me. So I would just dry my clothes in my home, and I'd open up a window, because that was like a much more convenient thing than having to worry about all these additional stuff. And then like if it rains, bugs get on it. Like if stuff happens, a bird comes and sits on it and poops on it. Like who knows, right? I never bothered with outside. So I would just set them all up in my home. And of course, because my machine smelled awful, my house would smell awful while the stuff was all drying. And so I ended up in the cycle. But now that I have a dryer, it makes my clothes stay smelling nicer, because you're taking it from a nice thing, putting it into a nice thing, and it all just stays smelling nice. And then also it makes your clothes softer, which I really noticed. Like our clothes were super hard when we would hang them to dry. And I can't attribute that to like hanging them to dry versus like the hard water thing, because when we got this machine, that's also when I knew about the hard water and I started to take care of it. And so it all kind of progressively got like that. But even then, when I put before, because I still had, there was a time period where I didn't know about hard water and I still had this brand new machine. And even then, like our clothes would feel a lot softer. Now, there are some materials that it does not work with, and that can be jeans. Like if you buy cheap jeans, it's gonna just ruin them. Absolutely, it'll just ruin your jeans. So you do have to buy like the right type of material. And I don't know what it is about like European jeans versus like North American jeans, because like my jeans that I bought from North America, so like Fashion Nova, I bought some from Urban Planet, they stay incredibly soft and feel amazing, where if you hang dry them, they feel like garbage. And then I bought jeans from Sensei, which I have a video about, and they feel like crap no matter what. You put them in the dryer, they feel like crap. You hang them to dry, they feel like crap. They get stiff, they get hard. They're already tight to begin with, so they get even harder to put on. No, they're just a no for me as a whole. So I don't know if that's the type of jean or what, but I know like my husband's jeans, his kind of also turn to trash if you put them in the dryer, whereas if you hang dry them, they're not as bad, but they wrinkle either way, which is like annoying. You don't want your jeans to wrinkle, so then you're constantly ironing and all this stuff. But yeah, taking care of your machines in your house leads to better things. Now, other things. I've decided to like start taking better care of myself now that I'm 25. So I got these glasses. These have a blue light filter. I actually have an issue with my left eye, so they have like a prescription in them for my left eye. My right eye is fine. If you want to know what's in my glasses, I have plus 25 on this side, plus 25 and minus 1. I don't know what that exactly means. I'm not an eye doctor, but that's just what I know he put in my glasses, and I have like a prescription that I can show like an additional eye doctor for them to better understand, but that's what you know is going on in my eyes. They have a blue light filter in them, as well as they turn into sunglasses when I go outside, because you should always be wearing sunglasses even in the winter time. And so I was really bad at like switching them out, and like my family has macular degeneration. It runs in our family, so there's a good chance we're going to go blind at some point in our lives. And so this way is a better way to take care of your eyes now so you don't have to suffer later. And so having this all-in-one type of system makes it so much easier for me. I don't take them off anymore now that I have them, and my life just goes really, really well. And also another thing that I want to mention is that I have an undercut, and so just for any ladies who come from colder places like I do, and you know, you find it gets extremely hot in general, and you have a lot of hair like I do where you wouldn't tell that, you know, I have an undercut underneath that goes all the way around. I recommend getting an undercut because it lifts off a lot of the hair that you have, and it's always like the crappy pieces that you can never get into your ponytail and whatnot. So I recommend getting an undercut too if you have thick enough hair, because I wouldn't recommend one for someone who has really thin hair, and you would definitely be able to tell that they have an undercut because they wouldn't have much covering. But also, like, you do you. If you want to get an undercut, if you want to shave your head bald, go ahead. That's what I initially wanted, and my friend was like, I'll do an undercut, and then I absolutely fell in love with undercuts, and now I will always have an undercut. Yeah, and just another note that I want to make about having a dryer. In Canadian culture, mostly everyone has a dryer to some degree. Like, we typically use washers and dryers, and so hanging things to dry is typically just for clothes that you wouldn't put in a dryer, like a dress. Like if you bought a really fancy dress, you wouldn't want to put that in a dryer because it'll ruin it. So that's why I want to say, like, you know, having a dryer in my life brings back the convenience that I used to have. And of course, dryers are expensive, and same with like fancy washing machines, and I guess you could say I have one of those for both. So if you can afford it, I definitely recommend it because it will just make your life easier. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not, because a washer and dryer in Canada could give my load down to 2 hours, like a 60-minute wash and then a 70-minute dry, and then you're done. So like 2 hours and 10 minutes, you fold it, you put it away, and you're good to go. Here, my washer and dryer takes about 6 hours if I do the same amount of clothes, because it's about a 3-hour wash, which sometimes I just do one rinse because I'm like, you don't need multiple rinses, my opinion. But it's about a 3-hour wash and about a 3-hour dry using the same system. So if you want to see like a review of my washing machine, we can definitely do that. But generally, I absolutely love it because even 6 hours is so much better than spending days, because for me, it would be I'd wash it, hang it to dry. I'd have to wait a day for it to end up drying because, you know, don't put it outside. If I put it outside, I bet it would be much better, but I don't necessarily want to do that because of the natural elements. And I know it doesn't rain a lot in the Czech Republic, but I'm a germaphobe anyways. And for me, when it goes outside, it's now in a not clean environment. So I have other issues there. For me to do the one big load that I would have to then end up splitting it up because I just don't have enough space to dry it because my apartment's small. I can only have one drying rack fit in my apartment somewhere that we're not going to be constantly moving it or whatever. So I can only have one. So I have to split the load anyways so that I can all fit on that. So then that takes a day to dry. And then when it's done drying, I put in the next load, fold those clothes, put them away, and then you have to hang the other one, and then it takes another day to dry. And so it's like a 3-day process to do one load, like one full complete load. Whereas with a washer and dryer, it's just 6 hours. So that's so much better and why I recommend it. So yeah, it's mainly those 3 things that are making a large impact on my life living abroad and making my life a lot easier. And so, you know, if it can help you out to assist with your cleaning because you may not clean the same way that a Canadian does, or if you're a Canadian watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing Vinegar with me, because you'd be surprised. We have a Canadian Facebook group page where we have asked, where can we buy Vinegar from? And there are other sources. It's just these are like the most easily accessible because the other ones were online and, you know, you'd have to order it and then wait for it to get to you. Whereas this, you can just go down to your local Tesco or your local DM and just pick it up, have it right away, and you can use it to do whatever you want. And raspberry vinegar does make your house smell a lot better than white vinegar does anyways, guys. So it's a great substitute. And then, you know, just taking care of your machines, because you should realize the hard water. And again, nothing wrong with having hard water. It's everywhere. You just need to know how to deal with it. It just makes extra things that you need to clean and you need to think about. So there's that. And then, yeah, having a dryer. If you can afford it, great option. And I totally, totally recommend it. But you do have to be careful with the type of clothes that you put in it because not everything here is made for one. So read your washing instructions. And that's everything.
something